I am building a Sims 4 starter home. This was painful, it was psychological torture, it was a regret, a mistake, anything else that we can think of, really. It was awful. So this is a sim from my library. I'm just giving her some better outfits before we put her into the world as a placeholder so that we can get a clean slate in a completely new world. I think now is a good time to say that I know that the frame rate is bad. I know it looks like it was filmed in university housing Wi-Fi. It was. I promise it gets better, like in the second part of the video. So once she's placed on a random lot, I want to reach a new crest, and I'm building a comfy cubby. So I started on the shell of the house. The main floor is pretty much just one big room, and then I built a porch, added foundation, added some stairs and railings. And then I chose this really cute fence from Businesses and Hobbies. I love it because it has the little lights on it. After that, I added a roof and some columns to the porch, and that meant that the porch was done for now. After that, I went inside and started working on the main floor. The plan here is to have a kitchen and a dining room, a living room, and a bathroom on the first floor. I was originally going to have the bedroom down here as well, but it was going to be too cramped, so I decided to make the second floor into a loft bedroom instead. After I finished up the top floor, I started working on the bathroom and building that in that back corner. The other side was still supposed to be a bedroom, which is why it looks a little bit weird right now. So as you can see, I messed with the floor plan a little bit. I removed that wall that was supposed to be part of the bedroom, and then I started laying out the windows. So once I was done adding the windows, it was finally time to start painting the interior. I usually go with this kind of medium brown and a lighter color in the bathroom just to open it up since it's a small room. In the bathroom I went with this light tile, and then in the rest of the room I went with a dark hardwood. Upstairs in the bedroom I added some half walls to the stairs just to close it off and make it look a little bit better and a little bit more realistic. And then I added the sage green color to the walls, and I added some carpet to the floors. After that I started adding windows to the bedroom, and that is pretty much it for the exterior. Then it was time to do the siding. I went with clapboard cush. I'm pretty sure I genuinely cannot read what that says in the tiny little window that I'm looking at right now, but I went with another sage green just because that is my favorite color. And then I did a scalloped roof. I think, again, I cannot read what that says. So with the roof, that is the end of the exterior, so I was able to move on to furnishing the inside. I started with the bathroom because that is the smallest room and probably the easiest to furnish. So at that point I decided to take a break and start again the next day. I filmed for about 45 minutes, and then I went to put it into my editing software, and I could not find a 45-minute recording. It ended up being fine, but I was really nervous because I have lost a lot of recordings because of issues with OBS. The recording was saved, it was just encoded differently. Anyway, I finished the bathroom. Here I'm adding some windows, and then I was looking for the washer dryer combo, which took me forever to find. So it was at this point that I realized I never added ceilings, which admittedly is something I didn't even know that you could add until very, very recently. I've been playing The Sims since at least 2020, and I just found out within the last couple of weeks that you can add ceilings. I've seen the button before, but it never occurred to me that you could add them. So right here I'm really struggling to pick a pattern that I like. I ended up having to go find some inspiration. I wish this was a bit. It is not. The results were less than helpful, so I ended up just going with the same hardwood that I did for the floors, just in white this time. So I put the finishing touches in the bathroom, I added a light and gave up on my dreams of having curtains in there, and then I moved on to the living room. So I started with this white couch, and then I decided that I wanted to do like a pink and white theme throughout the house, so I added a TV and then I added some plants. After that, I took the light from the bathroom and I started looking for curtains. The finishing touches were this lamp and finally a rug. So finally it was time for the last part of the main floor, the kitchen. I really wanted to do some cute counters, but I couldn't because a starter home needs to be 20,000 simoleons or less, so I went with these basic white countertops. I also did a little island seating area so that I didn't need to worry about a dining table, and I added some bar stools to go with it. Then I placed the last of the counters, the fridge, and the cabinets. I added some windows, and then it was time for the rest of the appliances. I started with a sink, and then I added a dishwasher and an oven. In the bedroom, I started with the little desk area. I still needed to do like some cheap stuff, so I went with pink still, but kind of tried to get the cheapest things that I could find because I still had that 20,000 simoleon budget. And then I promptly forgot about that budget when I saw this bed and put it down. Next, I did the dresser, and then I looked for some plants to decorate the room a bit. With the bedroom finishing up, that was the end of the interior, so I started placing some plants outside just to make it look a little bit nicer and a little bit greener. So here I was finally able to add a couple of finishing touches. I moved the lamp, and then I added some curtains up in the bedroom, and finally some trims on the roof and on the half wall in the bedroom. Here I thought I was done. I was done building, I was done furnishing, I had everything in place. I was trying to take some B-rolls of the exterior of the house just for some nice action shots. And then I got into the bathroom and disaster struck. Anyway, I fixed that sink, I replaced it, so it was finally time to see how I did with my 20,000 simoleon budget. Yeah, not exactly a starter home. This is what I meant when I said that this was psychological torture, because there was only one thing that I could do. So this is me downgrading my already slightly sad house. With my hopes up, I went to go check how much it was again, and I failed again. This was no longer a Sims 4 build, but a Sisyphean task. Right here I had the genius idea of just making the house smaller, so I'm moving everything in the bathroom so that it doesn't get in the way, and shrinking the house. And then I remembered that I had stairs. So it was back to downgrading for me. Defeated, I once again checked the price. And so I downgraded again and again and again. And to make an already bad time even worse, my OBS froze while I was recording. So I restarted my recording and continued to downgrade my entire house. I finally checked the price again. I'd done it. I built the Sims 4 starter home. And it wasn't until halfway through editing that I realized I'd never added a thermostat or a smoke alarm or a burglar alarm, but as far as I'm concerned, that's a privilege I cannot afford right now, so I did not go back and fix it. We're just gonna leave that. Anyway, here's some screenshots of the outside of the build. I was going to do a walkthrough, but all the footage was pretty bad because I kept mixing up the controls. So I deleted all of that footage. This build will be on the Sims gallery under my ID AAME. It's AIEYEMIE. It's the same as my channel name. It will be available for download as well as my other builds. I just want to say that this is not a true reflection of my Sims 4 building abilities. My other builds are, so please focus on those and, I don't know, like, have your Sims start a fire in this one or something. This was painful. Anyway, please like and subscribe so that I can afford a better house. Or don't. This game has cheats.